YouTube is happening. It is Friday, which means we got to talk about some Saturday football. But we got to talk Friday first because the Memphis South Florida game got moved to a different location. It's going to be played at Camping World Stadium. They can't have it in Tampa because of someone who's here currently. It's a little bit of a mess out there. So, yeah. So we have a bunch of games going on tomorrow. I think it's like 43, 44 games. We're going to break all these games down one by one. We're going to look at who they played, stats, and see if there's any value out there we're betting on and what we're going to pass on. Now, if you want all these games in a nice typed out list that look kind of like this is last week's list. This is what the members get. They get it all typed out for them. You can see if I pass things, what do I take, and I give the place for everything. So you can see that members get that. If you don't want to pay for it, no problem. It's in the video. Everything here, I just break it down. So outside of that, that's enough talking. So let's go ahead and jump into that first game right now. All right, first up, we got the fun one. We start off with South Carolina, Bama, noon, Alabama 21. We can see what they did last week. Everyone knows what Bama did last week. We all saw it. So let me show off their schedules real quick on who's done what. We bring them up. So South Carolina, you can see their games. They got destroyed by Ole Miss in their last game. Alabama, they play some small school no one's ever heard of. That's easy to play at according to somebody. So they lost to Vanderbilt, we all know. So in the what the hell game of the year. So those are the teams. You can see what they do. Let's go back to the stats. South Carolina struggles on third down. They struggle on yards per game. They can't pass the ball. Well, Alabama's 59th in passing. On stats wise, they their offense is pretty good. South Carolina's defense is pretty good. 21. Looking at the number, I don't know if I like that because now Alabama's had the most emotional roller coaster you can have in the whole country. They went from beating Georgia's ass to almost losing to Georgia to escaping Georgia to getting their ass beat by Vandy. So I mean, this is the definition of just what the hell's going on in the past week and a half. So I can't touch this team. I don't know what they're gonna do. We got to see. So they're at home. That's cool and all. I'm passing on this game. I don't see any value anywhere in this one. Plus, we don't know where Bama's mindset is, so it's a pass. Next up, Clemson, Wake Forest, 20.5 on the road for Clemson. We can see the numbers, but first, let's pop over to their schedules. Wake, last week, finally got a win over NC State. I don't really count the FCS wins. Do you? Because I don't. But you can see what they did. They beat NC State on the road. I had that. That was a great play. Clemson, they just been on a march of just domination ever since Georgia beat that ass. So yeah, Clemson looks like the real deal, and that means Georgia's the real deal, which means Alabama is the real deal, but means Vandy's the real deal. That doesn't work that way, but you know. Anyways, digress. Move back. Let's look. We can see lots of green numbers for Clemson. 83%, third down percent, 38%. That's not good. We don't like that. But Wake Forest defense is absolute cheeks. I mean, 127 pass defense, 34 advantage Clemson. 199 run, 33 advantage Clemson. They can throw the ball. They're actually kind of decent at stopping the pass. So I kind of want to go 61.5, but 20.5 looks like a really good number. So I don't see how Wake Forest defense can stop Clemson. So I think Clemson can score at will, and I think they'll eventually have a nice 3-score lead. Easily 4-5 score. It should be a blowout. It shouldn't be close. So we're going to take Clemson 20.5. Lean over 61.5 and move to the next one. Game 3, Missouri, UMass. Why is Missouri playing at UMass? What the hell is this? This is weird. I don't know. We can see Missouri's 27. They're 4-1. 1.5 for UMass. You can see the numbers. Let's look at the actual stuff. This is a blowout for Missouri. It should be anyways. You can see they've played decently in their last 3 games. They kept them close. Everything, even 14 is kind of close in Illinois. But yeah. And we see Missouri finally lost. Not only did they lose, they got that ass beat by A&M. It was not even close. So look at the numbers, look at the stats. What do we see? A lot of red, a lot of green. That ain't good, because if you can't score and their defense is already good, that means you're going to have even more trouble scoring. This should be a shutout. Should be. UMass is really good against the pass. Interesting. Missouri is middle of the road on all these things. They just can't stop the run. Under 54.5 looks like it might be the play. I think that's what I'm going to go for, because if you're average on offense, you're good at stopping the pass. You really can't stop the run, but how much is Missouri's more of a passing team? It feels like to me they pass the ball more, even though the numbers clearly show they do, but it just feels like it. So yeah, I'm gonna take the under 54.5. I don't know if Missouri gets there. Hell, this is one of those games that could easily be 21-3 in the third. And you're like, what the hell? And then you're sweating. I don't want to sweat. Give me 21-3 in the third, and I'm celebrating the under 54.5. So give me the under. I don't lean aside. And next game. All right, next up, Washington, Iowa. We can see what they've done. Let's look at their records and their schedules. We can see Washington just beat this. They beat Michigan. They didn't beat their ass, but they beat them. And we can see Iowa got their ass beat literally by Ohio State by 28. So popping to the numbers, the things that stand out is a lot of green on the defensive side, but there are 2 yellows. And those are important to me because Washington's really good at throwing the ball. That's the one thing Iowa's not the best at. And then Iowa's really good at running the ball. And that's the one thing Washington is not the best at. So the strengths is when you go offense versus defense, you're going to have the statistical strength for the offenses. So that's 2 offensive points, no defensive points there. It's 42.5. You know, everybody and their mama going to bet the under because, ooh, Iowa under. No, they've been hitting overs this year. It's 42.5 currently. I think it will go to 42. If it doesn't, I will buy the half because I don't care about paying 10 cents to get me a push possibility. I will do that every time. I don't care. So over 42 is my play in this one. I do not lean aside, not even close. You can see the matchup yourself. Give me the over. Give me some points. Next. All right, next up we got Wisconsin and Rutgers. Rutgers -2 to 43.5 total. Let's bounce over here. Let's look at their schedules. We can see Wisconsin beat the absolute hell out of Purdue last time. I didn't think they had it in them, but they just ran it up on them. And then Rutgers, you can see what they've done. They actually lost to Nebraska in a very low-scoring winner right there. Under was the easiest play there, so 14-7. So pop back over here. We can see they cannot throw the ball, and they're really good at stopping the throw, so that's point to Wisconsin defense. They're good at stopping the pass. They can't throw. That's point Rutgers defense, so there's not going to be many passing yards through the air in this one, I don't think, based on numbers. They're really good at running the ball. They're average at it, so that gives Rutgers a point offensively. And then 60th versus 83, and that gives Wisconsin a little bit of points. So I expect both teams to try to run the ball. I don't know how well they're going to do at it. You see how they did. Purdue is absolute dog shit this year. We know this. Nebraska is way better. So for me, 43.5, I'm going to go ahead and take that under because I think they're going to run. They're going to try to pass. It's not going to work. So they're going to go back to a run. And hopefully we have a low scoring game. So under 43.5 is going to be my play in this one. And next up, Georgia Tech and Carolina. We see the numbers. Let's look at the schedule real quick. We got Georgia Tech. We see their schedule. Their last game, they beat Duke by 14. They ended Duke's perfect little streak they had going. North Carolina, we can see what they did. They lost to Pitt 34-24, and that was a fun game to watch right there. So let's go back to the numbers. Let's check them out. We can see there's a lot of yellow, and the pass defenses are just not good. I mean, Carolina gave up 70 points to James Madison this year already. I mean, come on. I mean, the defense isn't the best. Georgia Tech's run defense is really damn good. 11th, only 87 yards. That's the one thing Carolina can do is actually run the ball. And you ain't going to run on Georgia Tech. It just ain't going to work that well. So even though you're good, I mean, it's going to be a little give and take back and forth. But if they try, let's see, throwing 50th versus 87, you should try to throw the ball. I'm just saying, you should throw it. You probably do good. 43rd for Georgia Tech throwing, 113. They better be throwing the ball, but it's Georgia Tech. Who knows what the hell they're going to do. So this one, I lean over. I'm not excited about it. I'm just going to say I'm not excited, but I will take the over 59.5 in this one. Just because I think those pass defenses are absolute atrocious. And yeah, I can see this being a high scoring game. As long as I get 60 points, I don't care. So over 59.5. Next. All right, next up, dog shit special of the week. Ball State, Penn State. You can see the numbers. Look at all that red. Look at all that red. Absolute terrible. I mean, I'll show you, but this is a pass. I can't bet games like this. Here, you can see Kent State has terrible. And then we see Ball State. Also terrible. So, I mean, looks like probably lean Ball State, hence the number, but this is 0-5 versus 1-4. They can kind of throw the ball, and they're kind of good on third down. Other than that, Kent State is last. I mean, come on. Ball State, if you want to take it, I lean Ball State, but I'm not playing this. Not with my money, not with your money. Next up, Toledo, Buffalo. A little bit better matchup, 4-1 versus 3-2. Toledo -8. Let's look over at the stats. Buffalo, they've won 3. They lost their last game in an absolute ass whooping to UConn. That was amazing how bad UConn beat that ass. So, and then we look at the Toledo Rockets, and we see that they beat Miami, Ohio by 10. Only 10 was a little concerning, but hey, a win's a win. A win's a win. You got to do what you do. So look at the numbers. What stands out? Buffalo offense is dog shit. So 25th in points, 48th against 59th. They cancel out. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. That cancels out. They can't do anything on offense. They're really good at defense, but they can't stop the pass. So this is a terrible matchup. This just, I can see Toledo, but I don't lean Toledo. I mean, kind of, but not much. This is terrible. I'm not playing this. This is a pass. Next up, UAB and Army. We see the numbers. We'll come back. Let's look at their schedules. We can start with UAB. What did they do their last game? They lost to Tulane by 51 points. They gave up 71 to them. Crazy. They gave up 41 to Navy. The UAB program is in just shambles with this Delphi project. Should be over. It was worthless. It didn't work. It was trash. So now let's look at Army schedule. We can see what they've done, and they just been rolling. They just rank Army, you cowards, because Army is just awesome. So 5-0. You can see right here. The first thing I see is number 1 in rushing and number 127 in stopping the run. Do I need to keep going? I see it's Army 27. Yes, I do see that's a very large spread. That concerns me. But I mean, damn. So if anything, if they're so bad at stopping the run, what happens if UAB all of a sudden decides to come out and throw the ball? And all of a sudden it works because they haven't been too good at it. And Army's defense has been pretty damn good. They can stop the run. They can start the pass. Yeah, Army might have 50 points by themselves, and I think UAB can score some. So I'm not going to rock with the the Army 27 or the UAB 27. I'm going to take that over 54.5 because I think UAB will get some points. Just not much, but I think they'll get some. So just enough to where, hey, 42 to 45-14, hey, it's a win. We'll take something like that. So, and that gets you right to that push. You might cover, but you're sweating. I don't want to sweat. I want to cover in the third. So give me the over 54.5 next. Next up, Miami of Ohio and Eastern Michigan. A lot of mustard and ketchup on the screen. So let's look at their schedule, see what they've been up to. We start with Miami of Ohio, load their schedule up, and we can see they lost to Toledo last time. We know that. Their only win is over UMass in overtime. What? Anyways, Eastern Michigan, they are 4-1. They are balling out. They beat the hell out of St. Francis and Kent State and UMass and Jacksonville State, but they lost to Washington. So, yeah, not exactly a good team, but they're good based on their schedule. So, hey, it works out, whatever. So let's look at the numbers. They're going to be a little skewed because their schedule, obviously. They're off a bye. Cool. A lot of mustard and ketchup. Nothing stands out here. I mean, they're pretty decent at throwing. They can't really stop the throw. That's why they're probably favored. And other than that, they're good at stopping. Yeah, it's just a trash game. It really is. That's all it is. So I don't like any of this. I don't want to take the under or the over or the side. This is a pass. Next. All right, next up, we got Red River. We can see Texas, Oklahoma, first ever SEC Red River. That's a fun one. Let's look at their schedules. Oklahoma somehow beat Auburn. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. That was wild to watch. And then Texas beat the hell out of Mississippi State. Now Ewers is back at quarterback. We did see he shall be starting tomorrow. And yeah, Texas State fair time. Good stuff. We can see the numbers. I mean, okay, now we got to ask a question. When do we look ahead? How important is a look ahead game? Because Texas is playing Georgia, and you know damn well they've been looking ahead at this. They got to be. And so are they overlooking their main rival in Oklahoma to focus on Georgia? That's a question we got to ask, because if so, that gives Oklahoma plus 14.5 some legs for sure. We see the stats. They're not that great at stopping the pass. Either quarterback for them could throw the ball. We know this. They can't throw. They can't run. But yeah, their defense is pretty decent, I say. But their defense is amazing. So the question is, and that line's 14.5. Are they trying to get you to take Oklahoma with this? Because Texas is look ahead. There's a lot of questions in there that it just feels off. And this is a rivalry. You know how rivalries are. Things are close in rivalry games. So what's the current line? This is the ESPN line. I'm currently seeing it's still 14.5, and there's no juice either way. So it's been sitting here, and it's 48.5 on this whole. Yeah, they're both off buys. I can't trust Oklahoma. I watched them play Auburn. I just can't do it. And I think Texas scores. Ooh, yep. I think we're going to go with the hell with it. Let's take the over. Over 48.5. I can't. This is a pass. It should be, but I'm going to watch this. I want some kind of teeth into it. So against better judgment, we're taking the over 48.5. Next up, Penn State, USC. Penn State's not the fourth best team in the country. I don't care what you tell me. They are not. They beat UCLA 27-11, and that game was ugly. If UCLA had any pulse, they would have won, in my opinion. So we can see USC lost to Minnesota. Like, the what? I don't know. A lot of green numbers though. A lot of green. Let's look at their schedules. What they've been up to. So we can see. Yeah, you won your games. Congratulations. And you lost to Minnesota. Okay, cool. You beat Wisconsin somehow after being down 17. So all over the place. So let's look at everything here. We can see the numbers: 58 in passing, 13 in pass defense. USC has went from one of the worst 2 pass defenses in the world to 13th in half a season. Magical start. I don't know how. They can't stop the run though. They gave up. They transitioned. They're going to give up running yards, which is fun because they're decent at running. So Penn State should have success on the ground against USC. They can throw. Penn State's defense is good all around. It is 3.5, and it is at USC. Now, I just said they're not 4th best, but USC lost to Minnesota. I mean, come on. How do you lose to Minnesota? I don't see how it happened. Now, it might have been a look ahead. Clearly could have been a look ahead spot. So Penn State has a bye week coming up, so they're fully focused on this. USC has Maryland. I think, is it still 3.5 everywhere? Is that the best we're going to get? Yeah, it is. It's looking 3.5. If anything, it might be going up to 4. Ugh, okay. I don't. They both defenses are nasty, except for this running. That's the only thing that concerns me. And I think, yeah, I think I got to take the under. I'm going to take under 50.5 in this one. I just think the defenses step up. We have a lower scoring game. So give me the under 50.5 next. Next up, Stanford and Notre Dame, 22.5. Seems high, just off the get. It's 2-3 versus 4-1. Let's look at their schedule, see what they've done. We can look at Stanford first. They just lost to Virginia Tech. I took Stanford. I thought they would actually play decent, but nope. Virginia Tech said, nah. Nope, not happening. So thanks for the win. Notre Dame, we can see what they've done. They're 4-1. They beat Louisville by 7. I had Louisville in that game. I'll just say I had Louisville. Didn't work out. What can you do? So now they're playing each other. Look at the numbers. And the only thing Stanford can do is run the ball, which is the one thing they're kind of not the best in, but they're still better than them statistically on the rankings. So Notre Dame's defense is nasty. We know that. They're 9th in defense points for a reason. Stanford's is not. 22.5 though. That's a lot. Notre Dame's off a bye as well. Stanford just played Virginia Tech. They got SMU next. This is going. I don't think this one's gonna be pretty. Yeah, I know it's supposedly a rivalry and whatnot, but I mean, show me how Stanford's gonna score points. They can't throw, and they do. 16th versus 105. Massive mismatch. 72 versus 49. That's advantage Notre Dame still. I don't see how points are scored. I think Notre Dame comes in, or they welcome them in, and they kick their ass in and out all over the day and back out the stadium. So give me Notre Dame 22.5 next. All right, next up we got Cal and Pitt. Pitt is a 3-point favorite at home. Looking over at the schedules real quick, we can see who they have done and what they've done. Miami won the game against Cal in very controversial fashion again for a Miami game. Of course, this is what's going on here. So we can see what Pitt's done. Pitt beats North Carolina. They are 5-0. So crazy. Let's look at the numbers. We can see a lot of red for Cal, a lot of green for Pitt. Pitt is balling out. Holstein at quarterback is just the Bama transfer has just been cooking as a quarterback here. 6 in passing. They can't stop the pass. Yeah, and you saw what happened 38-39 against Miami because they couldn't stop the pass, and they can't stop the pass either, but they're decent throwing the ball. So I lean the over in this one because I see they can't run the ball, but they can they should stop the run. So passing is going to be the thing. I don't like the over. I don't like it. People are going to see 38-39 and jump all over it. That might be the case because these two teams, but I think I like Pitt by 3 more, just way more. So I'm going to take Pitt by 3 next. Next up, Purdue and Illinois. We can see their numbers. That's a lot of red. Let's look at the schedule first. We got to. Illinois lost to Penn State 21-7 last time out, and Purdue got destroyed by Wisconsin last time out. Their only win was Indiana State. Ugh, Purdue's having a rough year. Let's look at the numbers. We can see, like I said, a lot of red for Purdue, except for the pass defense. The pass defense is okay, 45th. Well, Illinois doesn't throw the ball much. They can't do much on offense. Neither team can do much on offense, really, and Illinois' defense is really good. The total's 48, and that is like, okay, I lean the under, but then I'm concerned that Illinois pulls a Wisconsin and wins 52-6. I'm concerned by this because Purdue's defense running is not the best, so they can kind of stop the pass, but Illinois is not good at either thing. So I gotta take the under. It's 48. Can I get a 49 out there? Can I get one? Let me look. Let me search the numbers. I'm looking, and Purdue, Illinois, 48.5. If I have to, I'll buy 49, and I'll take the under 49. We'll do that next. All right, next up, we got Louisville and Virginia. You can see the numbers. Let's look at the schedules. Louisville, what did you do last time out? You lost to SMU. Before that, you lost to Notre Dame. Okay. Virginia, your last game out, you beat Boston College by 10, and you beat Coastal. Man, Virginia's been kind of sneaky good, haven't they? Except for that random Maryland loss. Huh. Let's look at the numbers. Let's see why. Louisville's got the green numbers. They can throw really well. They can't stop the throw. That's all I need to see. That is a 105 difference in the rankings. That is, yeah. Okay. 47 versus 51, they cancel out. 52 versus 38, that still kind of cancels out. Lean Louisville. 61 versus 37, that's a lean Virginia. So I think Louisville's going to rely on the passing in this one. So they're going to have to throw. They are still sneaky good. And Louisville's lost 2 games now by 7. Do I take Louisville by 7.5 though? That's the question, because it seems that number there is kind of getting me. So yeah, I'll do that. I'll take 7. If it goes to 7, I'll take it. If not, I'll buy the half. I don't care. We'll do that next. All right, next up we got Cincy and UCF. UCF is -3. Let's look over the schedules. We can see that Cincinnati lost to Texas Tech last week, and UCF had a thrilling battle against Florida. Looking back at the numbers, the main thing that stands out to me is UCF can't throw the ball, but it's okay because Cincy's not that great at stopping the throw. They're really not good at anything defensively, even though they're not giving up points. They give up yards, but not bend, but don't break. There we go. So both teams struggle with the pass defense. Cincy's really good at throwing the ball. It might be a long day for UCF. They're 44th at rushing. They're good at stopping the run. They're really good, so they're going to have to lean on their passing. 58.5. With both these defenses being this way, I don't like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on Cincinnati. We'll take the +3 in this one, and we'll move on to the next game. All right, next up, San Jose and Colorado State. CSU -1, 56.5. Let's bounce over to the schedules. We see San Jose beat Nevada by only 4 last time after losing that double overtime thriller, and Colorado State lost in double overtime to Oregon State. So you see the numbers there. Let's pop back to these numbers. I mean, San Jose is really good at throwing the ball. They're 8th in passing, and they're 112. That's not a good matchup. That's terrible. That's San Jose points all day. They can't throw, and they're good at stopping the throw. They can kind of run. 57 is not bad at running the ball. They're 94th. So Colorado State should have a little bit of success on the ground against San Jose, using numbers, obviously. 68th in rush defense. They're 126 because San Jose State ain't running the ball. They're throwing it. That's all they're going to do, and they can't stop it. It's -1. I don't know why. Kind of weird, but I'm going to take San Jose State. We're going to rock with it. We're going to take that +1, and we'll go with that. I'm not going to take an over-under in this one, even though I do kind of lean the over because there's a lot of bread down here, but we'll just take San Jose +1 next. San Diego State and Wyoming, you're up next. We can see Wyoming's -1. Let's look over at the numbers. That's a lot of red. That is a lot of red on the screen. Look at their schedules. San Diego State actually won a game. They beat Hawaii last time by 3. It's weird seeing this team fall off like this. I'm used to them being so good. And now we have Wyoming. They're 1-4. The fall off. But they beat Air Force? Like, what? I don't know. It was a weird week last week. It was just so weird. So let's look at the numbers. A lot of red, a lot of garbage. I don't like anything here. So you can play this, but look at these numbers. Why would you play this? This just isn't good. So I'm going to pass on this one. Next, Old Dominion and Georgia State. What a powerhouse matchup we have. Let's look at the schedules here. We're going to go with Old Dominion first. We can see that they lost their last game against Coastal, and then Georgia State, they lost their last game against Georgia Southern. So let's go to the numbers, and there's a lot of red on defense. Look at these defensive numbers, just terrible. Offense, not good either. Only thing I see is Georgia State is really good at throwing the ball. They can't stop nothing. They're terrible at passing. They're decent at running. 65 is decent. Which, I mean, that's probably their strength at 98. That's just terrible. All I see is 36 versus 104. That's the only advantage I see in this whole damn game. Typically, this will be a pass, but since Georgia State is coming off a bye and they have this advantage in passing, I'm going to see if they can exploit that. I will take Georgia State 1.5 at home. Next, Akron, Western Michigan, another powerhouse matchup. Okay, let's go with schedules. Akron, they've lost their last game to Bowling Green, and Western lost. Nope, they won their last game against Ball State. So, okay. got a nice little 1-game winning streak going on. Looking at the numbers again, a whole shit ton of red. Like, my God. Only thing we have is Western Michigan's 49th in running. They're 116th. So Western Michigan has one advantage there. Outside of that, there's no other advantages. Why are they a 10-point favorite? Nothing makes sense to me. So if it doesn't make sense, I can't play it. So I'm gonna have to pass. Next, NIU and Bowling Green, 2-3 and 3-2. 2.5 is the spread. Let's look at the schedules. We can see that NIU beat UMass by 14 last time out, and Bowling Green beat Akron last time. So there you go. There you go. There. Let's go back to the numbers. We can see we got some green, we got some yellow. This game's actually look like it might be worth playing. We'll see. Northern Illinois is 10th in rushing. They're 114th in stopping the run. Well, that's an NIU double bonus right there. That's great for them. They don't throw the ball well, which is good because Bowling Green's pretty good at stopping the pass. So NIU's defense is really good. I mean, we saw them already beat Notre Dame this year, so we've seen them in person. Bowling Green's been pretty good. So Bowling Green's favored by 2.5, though. They're 52nd in passing, but their defense is better. They're 81st in running, but their defense is really good. I don't see why Bowling Green's favored. Is 2.5 just the home field advantage? Because to me, it looks like NIU should be favored, and that's what I'm going to take because I said they weren't the 23rd best team when they were the 23rd best ranked team, but I think there's one obvious matchup here, and they're going to run the ball straight down Bowling Green's throat. And I don't think they can stop it. So, yeah, give me NIU plus. I'm going to bump it to 3, though. If I can get a 3 out there, I will actually, you know what, while we have a second, let me just go ahead and take a little look-see. Get rid of that. Here, you can watch with me. Let's look. We're on Outlier. I'm going to go look, and we're going to go bowling. There we go. 2.5 is the number. I'll buy it to 3. That's fine. Not a big deal. So we'll buy that push possibility. We'll do that. So we'll take NIU plus 3. Next. All right, Memphis to South Florida. This game got moved from Tampa to Orlando. This game is going to be played at Camping World or the Citrus Bowl, whatever you want to call it there. That's the stadium there. So this isn't a road. This is a neutral field for both teams. So you can't really use the home and away stats unless you just want to use both ways. But I'm not going through all that trouble. So you get the point. We can look at their schedules. Let's see. Memphis, last time out, they beat Middle Tennessee, and South Florida got their ass kicked by Tulane last time out, as Tulane does to everybody apparently recently. So, yeah, let's pop back here. Memphis, do we not have a, yeah, okay, so Memphis by 7, 61.5. Main thing I see is South Florida's passing game. We know is not good. They're more of a running team. We've seen that many times. They are 45th in rush. Memphis's defense is just nasty all around. They're top 45 and everything. They're not. They're 33rd in passing, 126 in passing defense. They have that super high tempo too, so they're going to go fast. Run defense is tied with them at 71. I think I got Memphis in this one. South Florida's got them destroyed 2 games in a row. I don't know what they do, but give me Memphis minus 7 in this one. We'll take that. Next up, Arizona, BYU. BYU by 3, 48.5. Let's look at the schedules. We can see that their last game, they beat Baylor. They are 5-0. They are ranked 14th for a reason. They've been pretty damn good. Arizona is no longer ranked. They're 3-2. Their schedule looks like this. They lost to Texas Tech in a game that I expected way more points to be scored. There were only 50 scores. So, what can you do? So let's look at the numbers. We can see that Arizona is really good at passing. They're good at shutting that shit down. So there's going to be a little give and take on both sides. 88th in rushing, 70th on defense. They're an average defense. BYU's a good to elite defense because the numbers don't lie. You see what they do. And we see who they played. I've already showed us. So that's the main things that stand out. BYU by 3 at home looks like the move. I know Arizona can pass the ball, but I think BYU shuts that down. Outside of that, everything else is equal. 53 to 55, 70 versus 88. These are close numbers. 24 to 31, 48 to 54. I lean BYU at home, and they were off a bye. That is sounding good. They just lost to Texas Tech, but yeah, let's go with it. We're gonna take BYU minus 3. At home. Ohio, Central Michigan, Ohio by 2.5. Both teams off byes. Let's look at their schedules, who they played last. They beat Akron 30-10, and Central Michigan beat San Diego State by 1. A crazy game. And let's look at the numbers. We see it's a little bit of all over. Central Michigan is either average or bad, and Ohio is either good or bad or average. They're all over the place. So Ohio's really good at running the ball. We see that. They're 39th. They're 80th to stop at the run. So that's the advantage of Ohio right there. They can throw and they can't stop the throw. So this one, I don't see much of an advantage to this one besides No, they're great at stopping the run. They're 41st running. This is one of those ones that are both off buys. They're prepared for each other. Max schedules are flowing. I don't like this one. I'm passing. Next up, Mississippi State and Georgia, 1-4, 4-1. Mississippi State's off a bye with a 34-point favorite for Georgia. Whew. All right, let's look at the schedules. We can see Mississippi State's last time out, they got beat down by Texas, but we took the under in that one. That was a great play because it wasn't, they just pulled away late, but it was a close game for most of the game with low score. Georgia's last time out was Auburn. We saw how that game went, so let's pop back over here. So what do we have? Mississippi State's defense is just absolutely terrible, and Georgia's is pretty, it's not Georgia usual #1 top things, but it's still pretty damn good. 22nd in passing for Georgia, 87 in pass defense. So if Beck is tossing that tater, spinning that rock, then it's going to be a long day for Mississippi State, hence the 34-point line. They're 59th in passing. They're 23rd in pass defense. They're both not the best in running, which is not good for Mississippi State because I don't know if 34 is going to be the number I want to go with, though. That's a pretty high number. Mississippi State did get thumped by, who was it that just beat the hell out of Mississippi State? Toledo? Yeah, it was Toledo. Look at this. Yeah, Toledo, 41-17. Florida, Texas. Yeah, it feels weird to say it, but I kind of want to go Georgia 34. But then again, Kirby might not try to put the foot in the throat too much. So, this feels like a beatdown. I'm passing. I'm gonna pass. Next, Southern Miss, Louisiana Monroe. We can see the numbers. ULM as a 6.5-point favorite after just beating James Madison last week. I mean, look at the numbers: 21-19 over James Madison, 13-9 over Troy. The only loss was Texas by a lot. Southern Miss is 1-4. You can see their numbers. They lost to Lafayette last time out. Let's look at the numbers. We can see, damn, it's a lot of red. That's a lot. I had to turn my head. There's a lot of red. Ooh. Okay, I'm not liking this at all. Look at these numbers. Now, Monroe just got a big time win over James Madison. They weren't supposed to get that, but they got it. Hey, good job. So they're terrible at passing. They're 132. Again, if you're letting a service academy pass the ball better than you got problems. And that's what you got right there. So I can't touch this game. I'm going to pass. Florida, Tennessee. We got Tennessee by 2 touchdowns as a favorite. Let's look at the schedules. Florida beat the Gus Bus last time. Before that, Mississippi State. And Tennessee got shocked by Arkansas. So, yeah, weird week. But, hey, what can you do? There you go. Let's look at the numbers. We can see that Tennessee's defense is nasty. But, I mean, really, you got to look at who they played. It was the Chattanooga, NC State, Kent State, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. So, but it's still pretty damn good. I don't think it's this nasty, but yeah, Florida is struggling mightily. They can throw the ball, but Tennessee shut that shit down. Tennessee can run the ball, and they can't stop it. That's all you need to know. Yeah, and Tennessee's off a loss. It's almost like the Bama game. It's like, okay, where did they go from here? Because they were shocked. But Bama was all over the place. That's why we're leaving it alone. Tennessee, I feel a little bit better about being at home. You got a rival in Tennessee. Now, there is the whole perception of the look ahead with Bama next week. So, I still like Tennessee, but I'm going to see if I can get them at 14. Nope, 14.5 is where it's at still, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I will, like I said, some numbers you just want to buy a hook on. I will pay for the hook. I don't care. I got it. Don't worry. Don't you pay for it. I got it. I'm going to say 14 for Tennessee next. All right, Air Force, New Mexico. We see what happened, the numbers. Let's look at the schedules like always so we can see what we got going on. 1-4. Air Force is struggling. Navy beat the hell out of them. Air Force is not doing well. And let's look at New Mexico. They're also 1-4, but they beat New Mexico State. They won the rivalry game, 50-40. What a game! That game's always fun. Every year it's a fun game. It's one of the most underrated rivals that no one talks about, I swear. So, anyway, let's go back. Let's see. I mean, Air Force is last in passing, which is funny. The Air Force cannot throw the ball, but it's military. We get it. 134. They can run though, 58. And for them, this number should be in the top 10. If you're in the top 10, you're not 1-4. It's just simple. 58 against 132 though. They're going to be able to run the ball because New Mexico can't stop it. They good at running the ball and they can't stop it, but they can also throw. But they got some good pass defense. I lean the over. I don't like either side in this. I lean the over 55.5, but do want to take that. That's a lot of running defense. I'm gonna pass. I'm just gonna pass. I'm not feeling it. The vibes are off, so we're gonna pass. Moving on, Washington State, Fresno State. Both teams off buys. Let's see what they've been up to. Washington State got beat by Mr. Potential Heisman himself with Boise, and Fresno got beat by UNLV by a lot. So that's not okay. Anyways, let's look at the numbers. We can see 112 in rushing. Washington State can't stop a nosebleed on defense. That is just terrible. And you get to see Fresno is 26 in passing. That's all I need. That's all I need. You can throw the ball. You can throw the ball too. And you're 71st in pass defense. It's 16.5. Both off buys. I think they're both prepared. Give me the over. Over 16.5. Next. Arkansas State and Texas State. That's a fun little matchup. Let's see what we got going on the schedules. Arkansas State just beat South Alabama by 2. And Texas State just beat the hell out of Troy by 21. That was a good pickup last week on the Texas State spread. Today we have 13.5 for Texas State. Let's see, 24th in passing, 71st in pass defense. That's an advantage Texas State, but it's not a massive advantage. 61st in rushing, 125. That's a pretty good advantage too. 48 versus 80. That's an advantage to Arkansas State. 122 versus 42. That's an advantage to Texas State. That's 3-1 on advantages for Texas State. Yeah. But do I want them by 13.5? I don't know. That seems like a lot. You just beat South Alabama too, which is kind of impressive. And you beat Troy. I'm not feeling this one. I just don't. No, we're going to pass. Next. And FAU, North Texas. North Texas is -5. Yeah, let's look at the stuff they got going on. They just beat Tulsa 52-20. That was a great pickup last week. FAU beat the hell out of Wagner last time they played after getting destroyed by UConn. Still weird. Still weird to see UConn with an offensive pulse. Weird. Anyways, North Texas is 4th in passing versus 6th in pass defense. I'm talking about strength versus strength. There you go. Line up. 121 versus 117. Non-strength versus non-strength. Line up. There you go. 70 versus 126. That's an advantage North Texas. 48 versus 77. That's a slight advantage FAU. I think this is going to be a North Texas game. They're both off buys though. I can't. I don't even like the over under. I don't know who to win. If you made me pick, I don't know. I'm gonna pass. If you don't know, if you're not comfortable, pass. Look how many games we got. Pass. Next. UTSA and Rice, 1-4 and 2-3 with UTSA by 3.5 on the total. Let's look at the schedules. UTSA just lost to ECU by 10, and Rice lost to Charlotte by 1. Interesting. Okay, cool. Let's pop back over here. We can see both teams are up buys, and there's so much red on the offense. 44 versus 9. That's an advantage Rice defense all day. Let's see what else we have. 91 versus 123. I guess it's a Rice advantage slightly. 84 and 86 versus 28 and 90. So yeah, that's an advantage UTSA. All I'm seeing is defensive advantages, which makes me want to take the under because yeah, but still that's so much red. I hate betting games where there's this much red. I know there's a lot of passes in this night slate, but all these games are just not good. So we're going to pass, move on next. Now here's a game. Ohio State, Oregon. We're not going to pass on this one. There's going to be something we like because look at all this green, so much green. So let's look at the schedule, see what they've done first. Oregon just beat the hell out of Michigan State, and Ohio State just beat the hell out of Iowa. 2 undefeated. Number 2 versus number 3. Game of the week right there for sure. Let's see. 67 stands out because it's not green, it's yellow or orange, whatever you want to call it, and 3rd rushing. So I don't think Oregon's going to get many rushing yards. They're going to get shut down. 24 versus 16, that still leans Ohio State. 23 versus 18, that slightly leans Oregon. When I say slightly, if it's under like 10 or 20, that's a push to me. I don't care. No, I don't care about things like points per the whole season. That's fourth. Turnover matters. Like you're 81st in turnover, you're 21st. That's key. Those are key numbers. It is in Eugene. That's a big deal. For me, I have to pick this game because I'm going to be watching the hell of this game. I like Oregon. Dylan Gabriel get it done, or does Ohio State just shut him down? I think this is going to be a battle. I think this is going to be a struggle. A lot of people see Oregon and Ohio State and think points. You see these defensive numbers? I'm going to go no points, no points, no points. Under 54.5 next. All right, Ole Miss and LSU, always a fun one when they get together. Let's look at the schedules. We can see that their only loss was Kentucky, and they beat the hell out of South Carolina last week. LSU just beat South Alabama and UCLA before that. And let's pop back to the numbers. And the first thing that I noticed immediately is 93 pass defense, 2 pass offense. 96 rush offense, 1 rush defense. Those are 2 massive numbers for Ole Miss. That's just what they are. That's what you got. Now, LSU 7th in passing, 55th in pass defense. Yeah, that's an advantage too, but it's not massive. It's just still pretty good. 43 versus 24. That's an Ole Miss defensive advantage. Ole Miss offensive advantage too. So I don't know if LSU is going to do any success when it comes to running the ball, but I do think that there will be passing. I think Ole Miss is going to have advantages. So I don't like that 62.5. I think I just like Ole Miss minus 3.5. And I think that's the best I'm going to get. I don't know if I can get a 3. But if I do, guess what? I'll buy it. I don't mind. I make a lot of bets on Saturday. If I make 4 or 5 plays where I buy the hook, whatever, 4 out of 5 might not matter. But that one game that matters can turn a loss into a push. And hey, I am cool with that. So a push is a win in my book sometimes. So we'll take it where we can get it. LSU 3.5. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to take Ole Miss. I'm going to take Ole Miss minus 3.5 at Death Valley at night. And we'll go from there. Next. Moving on, Oregon State and Nevada. We can see the numbers. Oregon State's minus 3. Let's pop back over to the schedules. We could see they just lost to San Jose State by 4 after beating Eastern Washington, beating the hell out of them too. And Oregon State just lost double overtime to Colorado State. And before that, beat the hell out of Purdue. So, numbers. They're really good at running. They are okay at stopping the run. They are really good at running. They are terrible at stopping the run. Looking at passing, 125 versus 98. That's still an advantage for defense. 99 versus 41. That's a real big one. So this game is kind of ugly. I don't know who I like. I've looked at this. I'm staring at it, and it feels disgusting. I feel nauseous. I feel like I need to go take some Pepto-Bismol when I look at this game. I can't do it. Pass. App State, Louisiana, Lafayette, Raised Cajuns. We can see what they did. Let's pop to the schedules. They just beat Southern Miss by 10, and App State's last game, they lost to Marshall, 52-37. Lots of points scored. It's interesting. That's a whole lot of points. Defense might be an issue, is it? Let's see. We look over here. Bang, definitely an issue. They give up 39 points per game, 45.7 more on the road. So how are they getting the points given up? Well, 124th in the run. They're 40th. That's not good. 77th against the pass. They're 42nd. It's not good. 13th against for passing, 8th against the pass. That's good. They're going to shut down apps. It's give and take. 85th in running, 69. I see why UL is 10.5 right now, but can I take 10.5 against App State? I don't know. I think they're going to get points. So but 64.5. Damn, that's a lot. I don't know if they can get there. But all right, let's do it. I can't. No. Let's be smart. Be smart. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. We see there's no clear matchup. There's nothing favoring. We have a slight lean for Louisiana, but is it 10.5 point lead? It's like a 7-point lead. That's what I'm leaning. So we're going to pass next. Next up, Vandy and Kentucky. Vandy, classic monumental letdown spot. We know why. Because we look at their schedule. They just beat Alabama at home. First win over a #1 program in like ever. So, and Kentucky just beats Ole Miss. So they too could potentially have a letdown spot, but nowhere near as Vandy level. That's going to be monumental of a letdown ever. So let's look at the numbers. Neither team can throw the ball that well, but Vandy can't stop the pass that much, and which is good because Kentucky doesn't know what the forward pass is. 77th in rushing, 63 in rushing. Kentucky's defense is nasty. Look at these green numbers. It's simple. We're taking Kentucky 12.5. We're going to bank on Vanderbilt. Still celebrating. Kentucky whoops ass. Next. Iowa State, West Virginia. Iowa State by 3. Let's pop to the schedule. We can see that West Virginia's last time out, they beat Oklahoma State. They beat the brakes off them too. Oklahoma State just needs to stop playing football. I don't know why. They just need to stop. So Iowa State, look at their schedule. Last time out, they beat the hell out of Baylor. They have been pretty damn impressive as a team this year. So let's pop back over here. Look at numbers. Defense wins championships in 99th in pass defense for West Virginia versus 57. They ain't gonna cut it. That means Iowa State's gonna be able to score some points. 80 versus 5. Sorry, that's turnover range right there. 15th versus 67. So West Virginia can run the ball. Good to know. Iowa State is going to have a success passing the ball, but they're not the best passing team we see. To me, I think I gotta go under. 53.5 feels really high. Doesn't it feel high to you? It feels high to me. So I'm gonna take the under in this one next. All right, next up, Syracuse, NC State. Syracuse by 3. Let's pop to the schedules. We can see Syracuse, UNLV, overtime, lots of points. NC State lost to Wake Forest. Wake Forest was a great +3 last week. Love that. And let's look at the numbers here. Let's see. Third in passing, Mr. McCord doing things out there versus 75. That's a McCord favorite right there. Don't care. They can't run the ball, and they're not the best at stopping it. They can't run the ball, and they're pretty decent at stopping it. They're both decent on passing. I don't. These kind of cancel out. Total yards. Yeah. I think I'm still going to go Syracuse -3. I think this versus this is the biggest thing. So yeah, let me get Syracuse -3 next. All right, Marshall and Georgia Southern. Marshall by 1. Let's pop over to the numbers, to the schedules. I mean, Georgia Southern just beat Georgia State, and Marshall just beat the hell out of App State. There you go. Lots of points there. Interesting. Let's look at the numbers. 113 in passing versus 130 in pass defense. Well, still a slight advantage for Marshall because they can't stop it. 27 in the rush versus 115 in rush defense. Marshall, massive advantage. 65 versus 50, and it kind of cancels. 104, 113 cancels. It's a Marshall -1 play. It's simple. Next. Minnesota, UCLA, 2 of the premier matchups we have here. So let me pop over here. Minnesota beat USC. I don't know how the hell they did it, but they did it. Congratulations. Letdown spot time. And UCLA is lost. They played 16, 8, and 7 back to back to back. So now they're playing Minnesota. Let's see the numbers. Minnesota's on a bye. UCLA is going to Rutgers. Number 1 pass defense is Minnesota, 114. They're 95th. That ain't good. They're 132 in running. They're 66. Advantage Minnesota. 125th in passing, 81. Advantage Minnesota. 111 versus 25th. Advantage UCLA. That's 3-1 advantages. Minnesota's 3.5. UCLA is just dog, cheek, ass, whatever you want to call it. They're just not good. So, oh, it just broke. That's cool. Now we get to fix it real quick. All we gotta do is come over here to the macros, hit the run, let it fix the issue real quick. We'll just talk about it while this fixes it because I don't get how bad UCLA is. So this is fixed. It's just refreshing all the formulas. If you're curious how this works, it's just a Google sheet. There's a bunch of data in there. There's a bunch of formulas. I'm running a macro that's refreshing all of the formulas for me. That way it updates it and make sure, because sometimes it breaks. And what can you do when it breaks? Whatever. So there we go. All fixed. So based on all this, I lean Minnesota, but I don't know. This is kind of ugly. I think I'm going to pass. Next. All right, next up, K-State and Colorado. Probably one of the underrated games of the week because Colorado's 4-1. They're both off buys. K-State's 18th. Let's look at the schedules, what they've done. Colorado's last time out, they beat the hell out of the Gus Bus. They stabbed the tires, and they beat Baylor. K-State just, what did they do? They beat Oklahoma State by 24, and they let their ass beat by BYU. So, yeah. All right, look at the numbers. What do we have? Well, we know Colorado's not a running team. They're a passing team. That's what they do, which is not good for K-State because they're not a pass defense team. They're a run-stopping team. That doesn't bode well for you against Colorado, my friends. Am I going to pull, say, a Colorado home dog? I think I'm going to because it's +3.5. 108 versus 85. That's advantage Colorado defense. 7th in rushing, 80 in rush defense. Now, that's advantage K-State. So, but I have 3-1 advantages Colorado. I got to take it. 55.5. Yeah, no, we're going with it. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I'm typing this, but Colorado +3.5. Home dog upset alert. K-State. You're probably gonna lose to Shador. Yeah, and Travis Hunter. And after this game, Travis will probably be the Heisman favorite. I mean, depends. I mean, is Janie gonna have like 6 touchdowns? Probably not. But yeah, this is gonna be something. So give me Colorado plus points next. It is funny that the 2 Heisman favorites currently are in the last 2 games of the day. Now we have Boise on the road at Hawaii, having a nice little vacation week, having fun. Let's pop to the schedule, see what we have. We can see that Hawaii lost to San Diego State last time out, and Boise beat the hell out of Utah State, scoring lots and lots of points. Yeah, 186, 259. Yeah, you can see the numbers. Dude is running his ass off, as he should be. So, are the Heisman voters going to stay up for these 2 games? I doubt it because they don't care. They just don't. So they'll probably give the votes to Cam Ward, if I had to guess. Because I think he's still 3rd. Could be wrong. Who knows? Let's go back to the numbers. Let's see. Number 2 versus rush versus 46 rush. That's all you got to look at in this game. Can anyone stop the running game for against Boise? Hawaii is not going to. They're not bad. They're 46, but they're not going to stop it. Let's be honest. 20.5. Yeah, I am seeing though 38 versus 124. You know, that is a pretty damn big advantage for Hawaii throwing the ball. 123 versus 50. They're not going to run. They got to throw it. I mean, if they're behind, which is good for game script, this is good for Hawaii plus 21. I've been getting burned on these plus 20s in the weekdays. I'm like 0-3 on plus 20s. So I'm a little skeptical. I'm a little concerned. But, you know, it's Hawaii. You know, on the Big Island, weird things happen. So you know what? I'm not gonna watch a single second of this play. I'm going to be asleep. This is gonna be a waking cash, hopefully. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna take Hawaii plus 21. I'm gonna take the hook. That's fine. I think game script is going to come into play here. Boise should be ahead, but they're going to run the ball. We know they are. They're going to throw to catch up, and they're going to exploit this Boise pass defense, I think. I can see this happening. And I can see Hawaii covering on a back door. Hell, maybe they'll just have a straight-up game. Who knows? But if not, give me Hawaii on the Big Island. That's it. All right, that's it. All 40-something games broken down. I went through every single game, rapid fire. Told you what I'm playing, what I'm not playing, thoughts, opinions, whatever. Drop a like, subscribe. Let me know what you're playing in the comments. Let me know if I overlooked something, if somebody's hurt or out that I missed. Just tell me in the comments, like, hey, bro, you missed this. Like, appreciate you. I've had a lot going on this week, clearly. So appreciate you watching, and hopefully you have a green day, and we'll see you on Tuesday. I'll have the next football video because I'm going to do that every week. I'm going to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Though that'll be the weekday games, and then Saturday I'll have its own video. So outside of that, we'll see you Tuesday. More football. Peace.